Jackson gave me the news of a planet far away. And Colonel O'Neill will assemble a team that will try to save the day. Dr. Sam has a master plan and a science attitude. And the job for Teal, he's part of the deal with his trusty Goa'uld. It's just a regular day at Stargate Command, and it might be hard to understand.
Chevron 1 encoded. Chevron 2 encoded. Chevron 3 encoded. Chevron 4 encoded. Oh god, this is gonna happen. Chevron 5 encoded. Chevron 6 encoded. Chevron 7 flies. We have a stable world.
Welcome back to the end of a banger of a season, with not so banger of a finale, in my opinion.
No.
Pretty meh finale, but we're gonna make it fun because we're also doubling up too. We're not making you wait.
Nope.
I did crunch
even that.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm your co-fry Sarah. Good God. Stumbled on that one.
What are words?
Words are hard. I am your co-fry Christina.
I am your co-fry Wells.
Yeah. So
We're here.
before we get into our double XL beefy buy one get one episode, we want to jump into the fry box.
Let's do it.
Housekeeping.
Short, cause we're 3 fry short.
I'm just blazing through things because we got a beefy.
It's a fucking fat one.
Just cut Sarah off.
Yeah, it's fine.
All the
It's
box.
fine.
Good to go.
Fry box. Do we have a companion burger?
Oh,
Mm.
companion burger is that number one will be at shore leave in less than 2 weeks at this
Yay.
point officially. So we will have enamel pins for you. We will have potentially some advanced can read some things out of the book maybe. And we are supposed to have a panel with hopefully Stephanie Chakowski there as well, who's been on things before with us. So there's that. And the book edits are coming along swimmingly. I have read things from Amanda now at this point. So super exciting. I'm not telling any of y'all what I've read so far, no spoilers, but I have read some. And yeah, so that's exciting. That's basically the companion stuff. Come see us at shore leave if you're going to be around shore leave. That's it.
Also, I think we should make good on our promise next week, I believe, or not next week, but whatever we podcast next, we will be diving into Sanctuary. So
yes,
if you are like me and have not watched it yet, be sure to watch the first episode of Sanctuary. First two. Oh, is it a two-parter?
It's a Sanctuary for All, part 1 and 2, which will essentially cover the what was a web series sort of thing and then became the show. So
okay. So yeah, come join us for Sanctuary.
Did you just bye? Christina's like, I don't want to be involved in this.
I don't know. My computer just said no.
Nope.
I'm here.
Yep. Yeah, so come along for the Sanctuary journey. I haven't even opened that DVD set that I bought, but I'm super excited. Hopefully there's commentary, fun things.
Is it streaming? Let me see. Let me do it. Let me give it a go.
It is streaming on, I think somebody said, I know it's on an official one, but it might also be on one of those Tubi or something as well.
Roku channel.
Yeah, one of those. I have it on Apple because I have owned it since it was available on Apple and coming out. But
to watch and stream. Yikes! This is not very helpful. Please wait
isn't there one that's where to watch? Isn't that one you can? There's an app actually too. John says Prime has it.
Oh, good. I have that.
Yeah. But I think there's some free way to watch it too, and you just would have to get through more commercials.
It'll be more authentic viewing, if you will.
Yeah. Or you can buy the whole series on Apple TV.
And don't spoil it for me. I know it's a however many year old show, but I have somehow remained in the dark and I want to keep it that way. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah, please, y'all, no spoilers, because I want to watch Sarah come along on this ride.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. Oh, Christina's just like, well, really hates the idea of Sanctuary, I guess. She'll be back, everyone. Yeah, no, it'll be good. I'm gonna change our backgrounds. I'm gonna figure out some way to tweak our opener somehow. We'll see what happens. But it'll be fun to like
get Aki on the comms.
The more gothic Victorian vibe rather than space vibe. So yeah, cool. A little steampunk. I always felt like it kind of felt a little steampunk, but that's also because steampunk was so big right there when Sanctuary was airing.
Yeah. And then Wells, you will be in charge of any of the extra behind the scenes info, fun facts, because again, I'm trying to like not look too much into it and get spoiled. I'm gonna try really hard.
Handle it. Any of you Sanctuary super fans like me out there, if you do have a particular don't tell Sarah, but you can send things to me specifically if there is a particular there's so much on YouTube, like so many behind the scenes things. So if you know of one or if you have a favorite one, by all means, please send it to me so that I can make sure I'm catching all of the things. Because unlike SG-1, this was airing when social media and all of that actually was more exciting than it is now, as far as like people trying to figure out how to use it for marketing and everything. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So well, how can we kill some time away for Christina get back up in here?
Her whole laptop decided it needed to software update right now. So
great.
That sounds like some replicator bullshit to me.
Yeah, I'm suspicious.
Yeah.
What can we talk about? Oh,
I don't know. Anybody have any questions out there in the comments? All 8 of you that are watching right now. What else can we talk about?
Watch anything?
I don't know. I didn't have a very big companion burger this time. Yeah. So there wasn't a lot to say. I haven't watched much of anything lately, other than like things that I'm going to sleep to, because I've just been
good old fall asleep TV.
Oh yeah, Mara, there is, but we have to wait for that.
Yeah, we don't want to read it without
John is asking
the entire crew present.
What's in the glass, John? Today's podcast episode is brought to you by Cupcake Prosecco. My favorite. I
gotta be sure to get some of that for the wedding.
Oh, it's pretty cheap compared to. I mean, it's a good cheap one.
Yeah.
Yeah. What have I? No, because I've been editing the book during the day, and I've been writing my own book at night, y'all. Kind of wild. So, yeah. There's been a lot of word and book focused world for me in the last couple of weeks.
I like it.
Yeah, it's exciting,
and it's really good so far what you've come up with. So,
if you're a Sanctuary fan, you're gonna like it, y'all. I'm just all I'm saying. If you're a Sanctuary fan, you will like it.
So, okay, how else?
What about you, Sarah? Have you watched anything?
I'm thinking. I have been, so I did get a Discovery Plus account because I wanted to watch that Titan Submersible documentary, which is wild, by the way. I've watched both of them on Netflix and Discovery Plus.
Okay.
Or it's on HBO now. So they moved the one from Discovery Plus. It's on HBO now. It's wild. Stockton Rush was like a psychopath and just like blinded by the fact that he was a millionaire. And the thing that fucking gets me the most was he was talking about how he registered the company in the Bahamas, and when they launched out of a port in Canada, so the US was not involved. And he went on record, well, not on record, this was like a conversation he was having with some of his people, and he said something like, if the Coast Guard gives us any problems, I'll just buy a congressman and make it go away. And I'm like, these fuckers, these conversations with these billionaires happen all the goddamn time.
This is literally things that are happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now.
Like, and like this is obviously like secondhand account from like someone who witnessed that or he said that too. So like it's not on record anywhere, but like those people are talking about like that stuff all the time. They're literally just like, I'll just buy a congressman. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll blackmail someone.
Yeah.
I'll threaten someone. All because he wanted to like fucking play Titanic and he got people killed. He was a psycho. Like I think he really thought he was untouchable and like all the money that he had just like gave him such unearned confidence. It was
Yeah.
wild.
Nice. I'll have to watch that one. I really want to
both
watch
of them.
the brand new Sally Ride documentary that
Yes,
just came out.
I think that's on
Very
Netflix.
excited about that one.
I saw
Disney or like Nat Geo. So one of the, I forget which, but like definitely watch that. That's the the 100 tampons song.
Yeah, yes. I sometimes when I need to laugh, I listen to that. But I saw that I'm gonna see if I can find this TikTok and play it for you, the sound, because I watched this because of this TikTok. Another thing on Netflix. I think it was Christian Hull who posted it. It was so fucking funny, just his TikTok. I'm like, okay, well now I gotta watch this.
Mara asks while you're looking that up, what's your go-to Stargate comfort food to eat when watching the show? Do I have a regular thing?
I need at least a beverage. I have a beverage.
Definitely a beverage. Not always Prosecco, y'all, I promise. I don't know. Today when I watched this double one, Bonnie and I just ate a whole bunch of summer vegetables, like a big lunch as the main meal of the day. So I had fried okra and I had tomatoes, like fresh, like good tomatoes, and some beans. So yeah, I don't know. It's not across the board. Snacky snacks. Cheese. I eat cheese most of the time, y'all. So probably cheese.
Shredded cheese.
Out the bag. This is an ingredients household, y'all.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna play this. Let me know if the volume is fine. Hold on.
Log into your Netflix right this second and watch Trainwreck Poop Cruise. It's about a cruise where the power goes out when they're in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, and for 4 days they're just drifting. No lights, no flushing toilets, nothing is working. The crew, in a moment of panic, over the PA are like, everyone shit in the red bags provided. That's right. Shit in these red bags that we have provided for you. Piss in the shower and shit in these red bags. When you're done, just leave them out in the hallway. And they did this for 4 days. The air conditioning went off and this place just got really hot and sauna-like. Ooh, and smelt delicious. So people were just coming out of their rooms and sleeping in the hallways until the drains overflowed and the human shit started seeping into the carpets and dripping from the walls for maybe 4 days. Go and watch it. It's absolutely hilarious. And my favourite part was when one of the people being interviewed said that the toilets, every single toilet, was like lasagna. And I'm not going to tell you why, because it is fucking disgusting. Also, shout outs to the crew who midway through this debacle decided it was a good idea to just open the bars and give everyone free alcohol. And what they were doing with those poo bags is so funny. Log into.
So I'm like, I'm intrigued. Just for the lasagna reference, you gotta watch it. It's definitely like a very comedic spin, but it was a Carnival cruise. And I was thinking of you, Wells, because you've gone on multiple cruises, and I'm like,
I did 2 last year.
Awful.
Yeah. I think the Carnival one that was it Carnival? I guess it was I don't remember. It was one of the Caribbean ones. That was the one where we couldn't get off the boat because the water, like the weather was too bad, so they couldn't dock. So we were on this very shaky, like back and forth boat for 4 days without being able to get off of it. With a whole bunch of partiers. And like I had sea legs afterwards for a week. Like I kept thinking that I was sweating. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. So it's very like comedic-y. They have part of some of the crew members talking about it too, which I felt really bad for them because like they're going through it too, but they also have to work.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
it
It's
it,
worse.
it
It's
was
way
wild.
worse.
Yeah.
It's way worse for
It
them.
was wild. And this was also like all over social media when it happened. Now, when they were stranded, they didn't have signal. But then another Carnival cruise pulls up to them to give them supplies, and they're just watching them like a fucking freak show. And they can kind of get some Wi-Fi signal from this other boat as it was like kind of near them. But then once they really like finally got back to shore and docked, like social media went crazy. But that was pretty funny. So Poop Cruise on Netflix.
I love it. I love it.
And then another thing I've been watching on Discovery Plus is called Fatal Attractions, and it's about people who keep wild animals as pets and sometimes get killed by them. So like the first episode was about snakes, like venomous snakes. There's two type of snake episodes you'll see: the venomous kind and then the big python constrictor kind.
Mm-hmm.
So those are very fascinating to me because the mindset, especially like people, I don't get the snake thing. That that's beyond me. They're cool and all, but like I don't get it. The snake smell. I've gone places where there's lots of snakes. The smell is enough
That
to like get
reptile
me.
smell.
Yeah. But also like the episode that I watched was about big cats, people who keep big cats
Oh,
as
God.
pets, which I sympathize because yes, they're very cute and I do want to pet them, but I don't want to get eaten.
If
Um,
not, if not a friend, why friend
why
shape?
friend shape? Yeah. And I think like the saddest part obviously is the animals end up suffering.
Mhm.
Like yeah, okay, sometimes the people die too, but I don't want to say they had it coming, but like, bitch, you kept a tiger in your apartment in Harlem. What the fuck did you expect?
Mhm.
And chances are when that animal ends up attacking somebody or getting loose, like I think it was in Ohio, like some fucking menagerie escaped. It was like a grizzly bear, a tiger, like a bunch of all these different wild animals. They ended up all being killed because like they're a danger, obviously, but they're not going to risk like trying to tranquilize them and then lose track of the animal and then they, it's just
No.
sad to me. It's sad. I get that like they're very beautiful animals, but damn.
They're beautiful to look at from afar and in pictures. Let's put it
And then
that way.
I pet my cat instead of
Yeah. Yeah.
petting a tiger.
So Christina said, just go ahead and jump in. So I guess that means Sarah, Christina did read that email. So I think it's time
Yeah.
for you to read
All right.
the email that we hold on. Let me pull up the banner so that everyone knows that we love to receive emails. So please send us emails. This is I think a return person.
Yeah.
Emailer.
We got another email from Mara.
Yep.
So I have not read this yet. This was right at 7:58, so she was lined up and ready to go.
She's ready to go.
All it says is subject compose email. Greetings, fellow Earth beings. I have a serious question answered. Will I be able to choose the enemy that I get free in this buy one enemy get one free deal? All right, wishes Cornmaster 3000. No, you don't get to choose. You just get what you get. Sorry.
You get what you get. This is what kind of business do you think we're running here, Mara?
Yeah.
If anyone hasn't noticed, the title of our episode tonight is "Buy One Enemy, Get One Free," which I think it does work in many ways. So
let's see. Let's go back in the group chat because Wells was asking like, do we have any fun alternate titles for this episode? So I was watching it. I watched these episodes twice. One for just like a run through, and the other for like taking my notes. I called it Schrodinger's finale. That was one of them because it's like they're dead. No, they're not. Are they dead? No, they're alive. Oh wait, they might be dead again. Jack's wagon, since he's obsessed with that mothership.
yes, Jack's wagon would have been good.
And then the buy one enemy get one free, or two enemies for the price of one. Christina contributed "Enemies a Go-Go," which I was like, "What's a go-go?"
That's
Never heard of that.
deeper into the retail lore right there.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Went over my head. But yeah, that's kind of what we came up with.
Yeah.
When I
So,
was looking up fun facts for this episode too, I'll just kill this now. This is I don't know if this is where this like the genesis of this fucking rumor. But this is if you look at the IMDb for I think it's Enemies. This is where like the fake news started about Michael Shanks being afraid of the replicators. Didn't he tweet about that?
he did.
And it
I
was
think
like a
I've heard
little
him
bit
in a
unhinged.
panel. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I've heard him in a panel too say the same thing. That is a false rumor, y'all.
Yeah.
False.
I think he was a little bit unhinged too. I want to see.
Yeah. Shanks is not afraid of spiders. He was not afraid of the replicators. I mean, I would argue that probably most of the replicator scenes, there are no replicators in them because they're CGI.
Correct.
So,
if anyone in the comments wants to like find that tweet,
he tweets
he
a
said-
lot. So
he
it
said
might,
something like really unhinged. Like, I think he called people like horses' asses or so. I don't know. Like, he was like, "Y'all are fucking stupid if you believe that." Like, kind of, yeah.
yeah.
So, anyway, if someone wants to find that and put it in the chat, I'd greatly appreciate it. But without further ado, because this is a big fat episode, let's get into it.
Dig in.
So, our episode opens with a previously on Stargate SG-1, and we go all the way back to the beginning of season 4 when we met Tanith. And this was also when Sam's hair was longer, and it was my favorite. Had to get that in there.
And it was my least favorite.
That's fine. Agree to disagree. Two warring factions on the hair side.
On the hair.
Yeah. Amnesia check. Teal'c's long-lost fling Shanok thought she could communicate with her symbiote and turn it good. This is important because the Goa'uld have genetic memory, and if the symbiote could share centuries of knowledge lost to the Tok'ra. The Tok'ra provide a host, but surprise, surprise, Tanith, the symbiote, wasn't really good, and he kills Shanok. Who could have fucking seen that coming? Literally everybody.
Mm-hmm.
The Tok'ra were like, yeah, we kind of figured that's how it was going to go, so we will keep Tanith around and feed him misinformation to report back to Apophis. And Teal'c is pissed off and vows vengeance because now he can't run off with his high school crush. Doesn't he have a wife?
Right.
Somewhere out there still. I think we bitched about this when we talked about that episode Crossroads. So anyway.
Yep.
Checking in with Apophis. Let's do a pulse check on where he's at. He got all of Sokar's troops in season 3, and in season 4 he absorbed all of Harrower's fleet. So he's the big, bad, large, and in charge in Goa'uld Town. So
yeah, they're having to dump a lot of like remember this info.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is it feels like they spent these 2 episodes going, I'm really ready to just like tie off some of this shit.
Yeah.
So like but then we all just had to sit through like all the things they wanted to tie off as they were going through these 2 episodes.
It's about time I'm so like, listen, I'm bored with Apophis. He doesn't hit like he used to. I'm sorry. And how many times has that fucker died? Like, and I'm sitting here thinking like, is this really the episode where he dies, or do they fucking bring him back again? Like, spoiler alert. No, this is where they actually kill him off.
Spoiler alert.
And it was very anticlimactic. It wasn't, I'm like, that's it, finally. Okay, can we move on to something more interesting now? Like the replicators and stuff. Like, they really beat this dead horse.
They did. Okay, real quick. Sorry, I know, like, solving this live. Can y'all just tell me if my mic sounds like shit? I had to like reboot everything and go
very loud.
It's very loud and very echoey.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Now?
Yeah, that sounds better.
Better. You guys are just gonna have to tell me live.
I have the tweet from Mara.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
Thank you, Mara.
let me kick it up on screen here. Just keep talking for a little bit and I will pull it up.
So
we're doing great this episode, y'all.
we also get a flashback to the last episode where they killed Kronos and acquired his mothership. So we're all caught up now. Thank God. Okay, let's get into the season finale. And then we get the Teal'c voiceover. And now the conclusion. Or do we? I don't know. But do you have this tweet up?
We talked about
Christina, we talked about in the fun facts for the
Oh, I
second
listened
part.
the whole time.
Yeah.
I had it up. I was
Oh,
chatting,
okay.
listening while troubleshooting. We're here.
But
We're good.
yeah, so I can't remember what this tweet was, but it was slightly unhinged, and I'm
It
excited.
is.
To...
It is. Wait, hold on. Where is it? Here we go. Yes. Don't mind me just uploading
You're
things.
struggling.
Okay.
To the dump. Starfish will have arachnophobia and had to be blindfolded during replicator scenes. A, I do not have a phobia of any kind. B, replicators were entirely CGI. They don't exist. This has been a message from non-morons.
Yikes.
Then on the
Yeah.
bottom, quite touchy.
He says, "Yeah, because I'm sick of bullshit. Thanks for dropping by, though." What year was this tweeted?
21. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
God, I
2021.
love it.
You know, when
I bet
everybody
he
was
was
stuck in
getting
their
real-
houses and just like hating everything. Yeah.
I bet he was getting real pissed at this question at panels and stuff. He's like, "Where did this come from? Why are
Who
people
started
asking me
this?
this?"
Yeah.
To the dump fuck.
Yeah, to the dumb fuck horse, whatever that means. Yeah,
Emojis.
but you know what?
As
I
someone who
respect
has
it.
received emails from Michael Shanks, he uses a lot of weird random emojis that make no sense to the conversation. I'm just throwing that out there right now.
I like it. I think I might start doing it.
Just start throwing, because then people will be like, I gotta interpret this one. What does this mean? Like,
Yeah.
why is this one here?
I feel like I use emojis fairly often just because I'm worried about coming across badly without having that little like sweaty smiley face emoji or whatever. Like,
Right.
I need to convey the correct
It's like the
feeling.
millennial LOL, basically.
Mhm.
It's the new LOL is the crying laughing emoji, and that still has a chokehold on me. I
Mhm.
can't stop. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah. I wonder if the horse was originally like a donkey emoji that's like changed over time. So it's dumb fuck ass or something like that.
Oh yeah, that might have been. Maybe there wasn't a donkey emoji.
I'm telling you, it's still unrelated emojis. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Unrelated.
Okay, let's get into it.
All right.
Sorry, guys.
So Jack and Teal'c are walking with Jacob. They comment about how surprised. Oh wait, holy shit! I skipped. I skipped a whole chunk. We
Like, where are you?
So first of all, the opening scene, our like 5-minute teaser, most of it is taken up by this remember this stuff? Remember when?
Mhm.
So finally we are talking about season 4, episode 22. It's called Exodus. We see the mothership approaching the Toker homeworld. Tanith is like, what the fuck is happening? We need to leave. Like, scramble the jets, girl. But the other Toker are like, no, it's okay. We've been expecting them. And SG-1 take the rings down, and Tanith is shook to see them. Now we have opening credits. Jack and Teal'c are walking with Jacob. They comment about how surprised Tanith looked to see them. Jacob tells them because Earth is so graciously lending them a Gould mothership, they will be able to move the Stargate to another planet off the Gould radar and establish a more permanent home base. Hence the title Exodus. Or like, we're moving out. As useful as Tanith has been feeding Apophis false info, they can't afford to take him with. So the Toker are going to have a little bit of fun with him before. They're like, all right. Cat's out of the bag. They enter a meeting room where they're greeted by the High Council. Tanith remarks about how he was so surprised to see them pull up in a sweet ride like a mothership. Jack tells him that they killed Kronos, and Jacob informs Tanith that the plan to relocate the Tok'ra base. And Tanith is he's like, what the fuck? Why wasn't I made aware of this? Like, I'm on the High Council.
Because you're a spy, motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's what.
So we have this dialogue. It's Teal'c and Selmak. Do you guys want to? It was pretty good line. Like, it was pretty good.
Sure.
Yeah. Wells, what do you want?
I'll be
What do you want
Selmak.
here? Okay. The Tok'ra did not wish Apophis to be informed.
We've been aware of your duplicity from the beginning. You deceived and then murdered the Jaffa Shanak. You took the host Hebron, and you've been acting as a spy amongst us ever since.
You have been used to channel disinformation to Apophis. He will be most displeased when he learns the truth.
So they take Tanith into custody, and Teal'c is just giggling and kicking his feet. He's like, gotcha, bitch. So sometime later, he goes to speak with Tanith. to gloat. He's like, let me just rub his face in it even more because I don't get this very often. So I'm off a high. I just killed Kronos, the dude that killed my father, and now I'm gonna get you, the person who killed my mistress that I was gonna leave my wife for and shack up with. Let's not forget that. So there's some dialogue between Tanith and Teal'c. Would you guys like to read that?
Sure.
I'm gonna let you keep picking your poison here.
I'll let you just stick with Teal'c for this.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I wasn't aware I was allowed guests. How kind of you to come visit me, Teal'c.
My presence here is not motivated by kindness. I am here to deliver your sentence as decreed by the Tok'ra High Council.
Death, I suppose?
You are to be extracted from the host Hebron and left behind here on Vorash. If you are fortunate, you will die before Apophis discovers how you have been used by the Tok'ra.
I am sure that you would like to kill me with your bare hands as I did to your beloved Shaunak. You of all would appreciate how much more satisfying it is to see the fear and pain in the eyes of your victim as they die.
You took great pleasure in the murder of Shaunak, but you must understand the price you paid. While Apophis was being diverted by your unwitting deception, the Tok'ra were able to move freely through Goa'uld territory untouched, rescuing stranded agents, freeing captured allies. Hundreds of lives were saved by the false information you spread. The Tok'ra owe you a debt of gratitude, Tanith. Were it not for the relative ease with which you allowed yourself to be manipulated, Apophis may have eliminated the Tok'ra.
All they have done is win a respite. Inevitably, the Tok'ra and the Tory alliance will fall, and so many others.
Not by any actions of yours. I will watch you die like all other false gods whose demise I have witnessed. Sokar, Seth, Hathor, Harrower, Cronus.
I am sure they died with more honor than Shaunak. She cried out for you like a baby weeps for its mother as I slowly extinguished her life.
You are attempting to goad me into killing you, thereby avoiding the extraction process. I understand it may be excruciatingly painful for the Supian.
I am far more valuable to you alive than dead.
The Tok'ra do not believe so, and I am inclined to agree.
They
Sorry,
both
words
just,
were hard.
I know, they're both just monologuing, like back and forth at each other at this point. They're like,
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm gonna say my piece.
I do like Teal'c's got his like running list of his kill list. Sokar, Seth, Hathor, Harrower, Cronus. Like they're just racking them up.
Yep.
So cut to Jack and Jacob overseeing the travel plans. Jack is supervising because he wants to protect Earth's big fat asset, which is the mothership. So we have some dialogue between O'Neill and Jacob. So I'm including these two chunks of dialogue kind of encapsulate the main interesting parts of this two-parter. You have Teal'c's quest for revenge, and then you have the battling ideologies of Jacob and Jack. So do you guys want to go through that and read that?
Totally.
Yes. I will stick with the Carter family.
Perfect. I will be everybody else.
Okay.
All right. We've got about 1,000 engineers and scientists just drooling to go through this thing.
You really think that's wise?
Don't start with me, Jacob.
Remember when you tried to retrofit a death glider?
Yes, I have that memory.
That is vast. This is vastly more complicated piece of technology.
Which is exactly why we're loaning it to you in exchange for flying lessons.
You know what I mean. You should really leave the ship with us.
Not a chance.
This is me talking, Jack. Jacob, not Selmac. You have no idea how dangerous this thing is.
Hey, we were smart enough to steal it in the first place, which is more than the Tok'ra have been able to do.
We don't operate that way.
Well, maybe it's time you took a more direct approach. The Tok'ra have been around for what, 2,000 years? And all that time, how many system lords have you taken down?
Oh yeah, things have certainly gotten better out here since you started killing Goa'ulds off one by one. Let's examine the results. In each case, more warlike Goa'ulds have stepped in to fill their place. There's more chaos than ever before. With the power Apophis now has, we are all on the brink of losing any chance of ever defeating the Goa'uld.
At least we're doing something.
Yeah, well, we're doing something as well. Maybe our plan is a little more long-term, but at least we have one.
What plan?
Undermine the Goa'uld's individual power and keep them fighting amongst themselves until we have a way of eliminating them once and for all.
Go on.
We're working on it, Jack.
He's like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So short-sighted.
So Jack is
I do have to say, Bonnie was watching this episode with me, and the entire
Mhm.
episode, anytime Jack opens his mouth, Bonnie was like, "Is he the antagonist?"
I
And
mean,
she's
kind of.
kind of like that's kind
Yeah.
of. She was like, "What's his role in the team?"
Yeah.
What is his purpose?
Yeah. So I think we'll come back to this at the end, but to me, this was like the most interesting part because this is a very action-driven story, them going from here and there and whatnot and doing the things. But this, I think, was the most interesting aspect. Because you have Jack who is very action-driven. He's like, we need to go do the thing. We need to kill the Gould and do this, and it doesn't matter how we do it. And the Tok'ra and Jacob are more on the lines of like CIA operatives, clandestine, secretive, like let's gather information, let's act
Mhm.
covertly here. Like, do we get as much grandiosity as you are getting? No, but we also have more limited numbers and limited resources. So, and you kind of see this dynamic, like him and Jacob kind of like duking it out as they go through the episode because they keep hitting fucking roadblock after
They
roadblock in
do,
this
yeah.
these episodes. Like, I'm like, damn, can they catch a goddamn break? So Tanith is trying to negotiate with the guards at his cell. He causes the host to seize up, and the Tok'ra lower the shields to check on him. He attacks, so obviously it's a trap. Tanith escapes and the alarm sounds. We see him running in the desert to uncover a package he buried. It's a Gould communication ball. The search party for Tanith comes up with nothing. They know he couldn't escape through the heavily guarded Stargate, so he's stuck in the desert. And because of a symbiote, he won't die from exposure too quickly, so he still has time to fuck shit up. They've been looking for him for hours and still have nothing. When Daniel points this out, Jack says, yeah, it's a Jaffa revenge thing. Which is like the second kind of part of this episode with
Yeah.
Teal'c being driven by his need for revenge, which kind of like gets him into a really shitty situation.
Mhm.
So in the council room, Jack and Daniel meet with Jacob and Sam. Tanith has been a busy bee and has already sent word to Apophis of their location as a way to make up for all the false info that he's probably been given. He's like, all right, they got me, but here they are, come get them.
Mm-hmm.
An attack fleet is being assembled that will arrive in less than a day. The new plan is to send everyone else through the Stargate to evacuate instead of taking them on the ship. Jacob and Sam have come up with a new plan that could take out a huge chunk of the fleet in one shot. So we have dialogue. It's all four of them. I will take Jack and whoever else has the least amount of lines. Daniel.
I'll do Sam's techno babble.
Okay, so wait, who am I doing?
You got Jacob.
Jacob.
Oh, okay, perfect.
There's a sun that Vorash is orbiting. It's a regular main sequence star with a core temperature of about 15 million degrees and enough hydrogen to burn for another 5 billion years.
Yeah.
We want to blow it up.
Jack says, wow. And Daniel and him together are like, that's ambitious.
Every star is a delicate balance between the explosive force of the fusion going on in its core, which tends to want to blow it apart, and the gravitational force of its mass, which tends to want to crush it into a little ball. Now, if we could disrupt that balance by suddenly removing some of the star's mass, we could create an artificial supernova. The blast wave would expand at nearly the speed of light. It would destroy everything in this system within a matter of minutes.
Daniel says, how are we supposed to remove some of the star's mass?
Well, this is going to sound a little crazy, but we dial P3W451. It's the planet where we encounter the black hole.
Wow, that sounds a little crazy.
Yeah.
We take the Stargate in the mothership and bring it as close to the sun as we can. Then we dial the black hole and close the gate in a force field and jettison it.
The sun's gravity will pull it in, the force field will disintegrate, and stellar matter will be sucked through that wormhole like water through a fire hose.
It's likely the gate won't last long, but we figure it'll be long enough.
Excuse me, but wasn't the gate on P3W451 sucked into a black hole a long time ago?
Not necessarily. That planet has probably ripped to pieces, but it could take years for that matter to spiral into the event horizon, especially given the time distortion.
Either way, we'll know as soon as we try to dial out. We can't make a connection. If we can't make a connection, we abort the plan and get the hell out of there.
Jack says, well, let me think about this a moment.
You're the one who wanted to take more direct measures, Jack. The council's already approved the plan, but it's your ship, which means it's your call.
Still thinking.
Sir, this solar system is completely abandoned and barren. Apophysis fleet is on the way. Now we may never have an opportunity like this again.
Okay. So yeah, good point, Jacob. He's like, you were just bitching at me because you don't like the way we operate and you want to do more. Meh, 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 meh. Well, now we are, and now you have a problem with it. It's because he doesn't want to risk his mothership. That's what it is.
Yeah, he
Cut
wants
to-
his big toy.
Yeah. Cut to Teal'c. He is sulking because they haven't found Tanith yet. And Daniel tells Teal'c, like, hey, with this new plan, Tanith is cooked because he's going to be trapped on this planet and the planet's going to get blown up. So all is well. So there's some dialogue between Daniel and Teal'c now. This is the front end of this is very dialogue heavy, but don't worry. Like, we'll get through it.
The
kind of fun,
adventure
though.
hits. Yeah.
Yeah. I
You
would
want
prefer
Daniel?
to switch. Yeah, I got to go
Yeah.
back to my man. Sorry.
I got Teal'c, no worries. I have great confidence in both Selmac and Major Carter.
But
Twice I have had the opportunity to avenge the murder of Shaunak. Twice I have let Tanith slip through my grasp. I have failed Shaunak.
that's not true. You let Tanith live so that the Tok'ra could use him, and it worked. And now we're about to take down Apophis and the largest Goa'uld fleet ever assembled.
It will be a great victory.
That's right.
And yet, knowing what Apophis did to Shari, would you not trade it for all the opportunity to crush the life from his throat with your bare hands?
Well, I'd be lying to you if I said I'd never thought about it, but that doesn't mean I'd do it, given a more rational option.
In the future, I will not be capable of such restraint.
So
Sorry,
think-
can I just take a moment for Daniel on this
Say-
one?
say it.
Yes.
Because, like, okay, we all know I love Daniel, but, like, as we've gone through this podcast, I have obviously deconstructed my absolute and come to a place where I have such disdain for his wife. And so the fact that they bring her memory up and is like, wouldn't you want if, blah, blah, blah. Like, he treated her like dog shit. I don't take his, like, guilt of, like, yes, I would like to do this, but not. Like, sure, that I appreciate
But
his
hey,
answer on it, but,
hey,
like,
she thought a pen was magic. That was her whole personality,
like, but I just...
He's hanging on to that one thing he knows about her.
I know, and he like knows nothing else, and he's just been such a surface level fucking dipshit. And so I get really annoyed at this being the like conversation point. So I just needed to like get that out of my system because I just don't like, oh, you lost your wife. Wouldn't you just do everything and risk it all for her? Like, you didn't fucking love her. She was just made you feel good about yourself. Anyway, continue. We can move on. I just need to get that out of my system. I love him.
I never miss a chance to be a hater on Daniel specifically.
I know.
But in this case, like it didn't really bother me because basically, like, you have two people who have lost the same thing from the same person, right? So like they have equal reason to also want revenge, right? They've lost something. So it's just showing you like the different sides of it, where Daniel is like, he's kind of he's cooled down since Shari has died. Like he's had time to process it. And he's like, listen, sometimes like the revenge that I want to get is not going to be the best way to do it. And there's an alternate thing that like we'll be able to get justice, so to speak. Teal'c is just like, he's still blinded by rage. Yeah. That loss is still, so it's and I have this at the end, but like listen, I love revenge, not necessarily like in the way you would think, but like sometimes the best revenge is truly no revenge and moving on and being unbothered. So Teal'c is still in that very mindset of his grief and his feelings are still hot, and you got to let that cool down. Like revenge is a dish best served cold type of thing.
And let me be clear, I don't disagree at all with the messaging, and I'm like team Daniel's response all day long. I just wanted to take a moment to just like be annoyed at Daniel again, not for the specific conversation, but just
because
general.
because we know that Shari, like the whole Shari storyline was like not good,
no,
and not wrapped up very well.
When you talk about Teal'c and this anger revenge thing, though, like it's not the last time with Tanith either.
Mm,
Like he almost gets stuck in the Stargate in
Yeah.
48 hours because of that man. Like
mhm.
he's just still not done. That was Tanith still, I think. It like
Yeah.
still.
Yes.
Ugh.
That was when he actually gets him.
That's
But
when we get McCain for the first time. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
But anyway, yeah, sorry. So I think it's a beautiful comparison, and I agree with you, Sarah. Like, and it was appropriately like placed to talk about it because it does show like Daniel's kind of typical calm, cool, collected. Like, let's try to be rational. But yeah, I just felt like being a hater for a moment.
Yeah. I get annoyed when they bring up Share and like every time he sells the picture on his desk, blah blah blah. I'm like, bitch,
Ugh.
can we like I'm over
He
this.
fucks someone like the next episode. So anyway.
Blech! In Blue
Yeah.
Tomato.
So,
So
okay.
so they get ready to execute the plan. At current speed, they'll be there in 68 minutes. The fleet's on its way. They won't be able to detect the gate on their screens, and they won't know Vorash is deserted until they're in orbit. By then, it will be too late. They dial the gate into the black hole planet, and it works. The gate is still active. They release the gate and get ready to get the fuck out. But a glider comes out of nowhere and starts to attack them. It can't be Apophis. It's too soon. They manage to hit the bomber and disable it, but they've also lost power and their hyperdrive is down. They are stuck. Can we get a fucking counter going of when this goddamn hyperdrive keeps going down? Because this is the first of many. This fucking hyperdrive, man.
There's got to be a recall on the hyperdrive at this point. You
Yeah.
know, like, are we
Send it
not
back-
replacing these back to the manufacturer? Like,
Yeah. I think they missed the letter in the mail.
Yeah.
Your mothership is in need of repairs. Kronos, blame him.
Yeah.
We need to get We need to get villain support on that one.
Mhm.
Yeah. So tactical indicators are down and weapons are inoperable. So they're like sitting ducks at this point. They need to get like shit up and running before this giant fleet shows up. Jack takes Teal'c out in a glider to go finish off this stranded bomber that attacked them. But it's a trap, maybe. As soon as they run up on it, it flies away. And Teal'c says, like, oh, they must have just fixed their stuff. Okay, like, they're done. I wonder if it was like a trap to like distract them. Either way, the ship heads to the Toker planet, and Teal'c follows because he's like, well, might as well, like, get my revenge. He doesn't want Tanith to escape on the bomber, which is probably where this came from. He probably had a ship waiting there the whole time, which is why this bomber got there so fast. It's a Jaffa revenge thing, remember. They only have a little more than an hour before the sun explodes. Meanwhile, Sam and Jacob are getting to work on the hyperdrive back up and running and leave poor Daniel to pilot the ship. Again, we need a counter for this because they keep abandoning that man at the console and he's like, what the fuck do I do?
He's like
the worst person to be leaving there, but that's
yeah.
fine.
He really doesn't have like he's kind of aimless in this episode because there's like no ancient text to translate or anything. So he's like, I guess I'll drive. Sure. He needs to get his Gould mothership license at the Gould DMV.
Bless it.
So on the ship we see Tanith waiting for his Uber. But Jack but there's what's that TikTok sound where it's like, what, I'm your Uber driver, get in.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yes.
That's what I thought of. But Jack and Teal'c blow it up out of the sky and the glider is damaged in the process because Teal'c doesn't pull up right away and he's like, I must get my revenge. He can't leave. And it causes them to get their glider fucked up. Sam and Jacob get the weapons and shields operational, but the hyperdrive control circuit is fried. The engines themselves are fine. They need to reroute through secondary systems. So they're like, we'll just hotwire this with some other crystals from some other panel we can take.
Mm-hmm.
And now they need to Uber down and get Jack off the planet in time. Jack and Teal'c, they got to pick them up in time before this whole thing blows up. It's a tall order. And now Apophis has shown up ahead of schedule. Yeah.
And
they keep getting it. So Jacob moves the ship behind the sun to hide for a while and buy them time. Jack is wandering around Vorash with Teal'c, lamenting about how he wished Hammond wouldn't have loaned them the mothership to the Tok'ra. They don't share with us. Why should we share with them? Like literally, he's like bickering about it. They only have 45 minutes left. Teal'c is at least happy they have prevented Tanith from escaping. We see a couple of Jaffa in their red outfits this time. It's a different skin for them. like they got the sweet red unlocked.
Apophis went through some things and decided to
They've
rebrand. It's the rebrand.
Rebrand.
Yep. Rebrand.
His emo face.
It's
It's not a phase, Mom.
not a
So
face.
we see a couple Jaffa take the rings down to pick up Tanith, but Tanith is like, hey, I can sweeten the deal for you, because he knows Teal'c is on the planet. On the mothership, or mothershop, as autocorrect so kindly changed it to, Sam fixes the hyperdrive. Jack and Teal'c are ambushed by the Jaffa. Teal'c is shot in the back with a stab weapon, and Jack gets got with a Zat. Tanith scoops up Teal'c in the rings to take him to Apophis's ship. They have 27 minutes before the sun blows up. On Apophis's ship, Tanith tells him, whoops, couldn't get the Tok'ra for you, but I got you a present. It's the Shova Teal'c. And Apophis is like, okay, like, I guess I'll let you live, bro. Fine. Jacob comes up with a plan. They launch a fleet of gliders on autopilot to leave the Vorash system. Apophis believes it's the Tok'ra trying to escape, and the fleet begins to leave Vorash, but Apophis can see kind of pretty quickly that there's no life forms on the ship. However, this does give them enough time to scoop up Jack and get the fuck out right as the sun explodes and begins to engulf Apophis's fleet. The ship goes into hyperspeed suddenly, and then it's thrown out of hyperspeed. Jack shows up without Teal'c. Sam wants to go back for him, but Jacob says it's not possible. The navigational computer isn't recognizing any of the star patterns. According to the readings, they've traveled over 4 million light years. Stargate Voyager, anyone?
Yes.
He says, given our current position and maximum hyperdrive speed, it's going to take 125 years to get back. Long-range sensors are picking up another ship. It's Apophis's. And this is where our season finale ends, to be continued.
Yeah. You blow up.
It's like a lot happened, but not a lot. A lot of it's like action driven. There wasn't too much dialogue. Like the dialogue that you guys read was the meat of it. But it was very action driven.
We do have that cute scene that happens in this episode with like Sam's like, I've never blown up a sun before.
Yeah. She was a little bit nervous.
She's like, a little nervous,
Yeah.
theoretically,
Setting the bar.
it should work.
Setting the bar high.
Yeah.
Trying to think. There is, I do see in the comments, Mara says, let me see if I can put it on the screen. Oh no, I don't know how. Oh, there it is. Jack speaking all of our thoughts when he asks how they know where the rings are in the episode.
Yes. And you guys know where to stand.
Yes. And I think there's it might be the next episode where he's waiting around to be beamed up, and he's like looking around, he's like, oh, am I in the right spot? Am I standing in the right spot?
Yeah.
Like you can tell he's thinking it. But yeah, like I don't really have anything to add. They don't really like there's no big philosophical story to pick apart here. So we're jumping now to season 5, episode 1, which is called Enemies.
Plural.
Yeah. Which is weird. In certain places they call the season 4 finale Exodus Part 1. And then they call this one Enemies. Wouldn't it be called Exodus Part 2? Why?
Not necessarily. I mean, when you get to like 7 to 8, it's like 2-parter and then a different 2-parter, but there's still like it's still a cliffhanger,
Yeah.
So annoying.
So we jump in right where we left off. Thank God, because I hate when shows they make you wait for the new season, right? They leave you on a cliffhanger, and then the opener is just like they're diverting us, and it's like, no, bitch, you left us. Pick up right where you left off. Don't give me this like other. Don't slow burn us into it. Like we've been waiting for this.
Yeah.
So the hyperdrive is cooked yet again, so they can't move. Hyperdrive number 2 down. Apophis is poised to attack, and Jacob sends out one Hail Mary on the comms. Apophis is like, I'm gonna get you now, bitches. I don't care if I'm stranded all the way out here. Pretty much. That was the conversation. And then out of nowhere,
I mean,
another
that's a fair reaction, I would
Yeah.
say. Like, at
Yeah.
that point, he's like, "What?
He did
No,
lose
bitch."
his whole fleet. Like, it's
Yep.
just his big ship that's survived. All of the motherships that he had with him are gone. So they did accomplish that at least. But then out of nowhere, another ship comes out of the blue and begins to fire on Apophis. It's not like anything recognized in the computer database, and it's only firing on Apophis's ship. The system that they're in is centered around a blue giant. The plan for right now is to get close enough to the coronosphere. The radiation will mask them from other sensors, but it will also prevent them from using their own sensors. But it does work. They can kind of hide in the radiation. And Jack so obviously points out radiation. What? The hull will protect him from radiation for about an hour without the shields, but 10 hours with them. So Jacob and Sam get started on fixing the shields. They're just putting this mothership through the goddamn ringer. Like, they're beating it up. The hyperdrive is cooked part 2. They gotta fix the shields. Sublight engines get brought up here and there. So there's a lot. And then in the meantime, Jack and Daniel are talking about what happened on Borash. Jack is feeling guilty for letting Teal'c down. So, like, Daniel's the whole, it's not your fault. And Jack's like, yeah, but I still feel like crap. Like,
But I feel like this is Daniel's role, is he's kind of playing therapist to everybody who's going through like these crises, and his job throughout this is to just be the like voice of
He's going
steady.
Yeah.
Yep.
So back at the SGC, the Tok'ra stopped by for a visit. So we have dialogue with Councilwoman Renau and Hammond. Would you like to read that?
Oh yeah. I'm assuming I'm taking the Tok'ra. Taking Ren.
Sure.
Okay. All right. We had 2 scout ships as close to the region as safety permitted. Sensors confirmed the star did go supernova as planned. As far as we can tell, Apophis's fleet was in close proximity as it happened.
As far as you can tell?
Our data only covers the time prior to the blast wave. An energy burst of that magnitude blacked out sensor readings and will continue to do so for some time. However, I can assure you there is no way for another ship to have survived.
And there has been no communication from SG-1?
No. A single one-man pod was launched from Apophis's mothership several minutes prior to the explosion.
Apophis?
It is possible, but that would mean he had anticipated the explosion and his fleet should have escaped it.
Then who was it?
We tracked the pod into Goa'uld-occupied territory. We did not follow further. There was possibly 2 subspace distortions during the explosion that could be explained by ships attempting to go into hyperspace. However, we are fairly confident they did not make it out prior to being hit by a blast wave.
So you're saying SG-1 did not survive?
The possibility is extremely remote. If they had, they should have contacted us by now. You can rest assured, whether or not SG-1 survived, their action has thrown the Goa'uld into chaos. The resultant void in dominant power will have the remaining system lords fighting each other for years to come.
Thank you.
The Tok'ra are officially considering Selmak a fallen war hero.
Well, you'll forgive me for holding out hope a little longer. SG-1 has a surprisingly good habit of beating the odds.
He's like, they're the main characters. They don't die.
Right. Die.
Hammy knows that. Hammy knows.
Come on, now we got 5 more seasons in us. I can't die.
So one question I had towards the end was like, what happened to Tanith? And now in reading this through, Tanith was the one who escaped in this pod. That was him. Because we do meet up with Apophis again. We do meet up with Teal'c again. So it is,
he's the new Goa'uld that's like, haha, like out of every situation. Haha.
Yeah. He took up Harrower's
yeah, he did.
place. So in the engine room, Sam and Jacob aren't getting anywhere with fixing the hyperdrive. They tried retrofitting some other crystals, but it didn't work. Daniel points out, why bother? You said that it would take us like 100 years to get home, even with the hyperdrive. Good point. He's like, why do we fucking care? Like, we're not getting home anyway. But Jacob says, it's easier to avoid enemies with hyperdrive. So it is a good idea to have that. They move out of the coronosphere to see what's going on. The other ship is gone. It's just Apophis's. and sensors are showing there's no life forms on board this ship. They approach his ship and prepare to board. They're like, okay, we're going to steal the crystals from their hyperdrive.
Smart.
This fucking hyperdrive is like what's causing all the problems.
This episode sponsored by Hyperdrives Unlimited, your new solution for all of your hyperdrive needs.
Yep. So we see Jack and Sam break out the clear eye protector glasses. This is our first hint. You can see those bad boys. You know what's coming. They're hoping to snag some hyperdrive crystals so they can get out. As soon as they board, we can hear the self-destruct is set. They have 4 minutes. Jacob goes to disable it, and Jack and Sam go to get the crystals. This is some really great dialogue. Do you guys want to read it?
Yeah.
That's what my my thing is. The thing down there. This way, sir. It's not far.
Carter, how do you know where to go in a place like this?
I studied the Tok'ra specs of the ship while we were on Vorash.
You know how to have a good time, don't you?
Having a good time now, sir.
You go, girl.
Part of it is probably like, fucking nerd, but now he's like, you know what? It's coming
She's
in
like,
handy.
It also goes like right after the like lock and load of the P90 and like, having a good time now, sir.
Yeah. He's like,
I
thank
love
God
it.
you're a fucking nerd because it's saving it's saving us right now. They come across the bodies of a bunch of Jaffa that are dead. We hear ignore the spelling mistakes. I'm ignoring them.
But it makes it they are dead. They are dead. I'm just sorry, it's the twang in my head.
They both hear a noise and swing around to see a replicator climbing the walls. This is where you get your offer, 2 for the price of 1.
For
Jacob's
the price of 1, y'all. Not hyperdrives though. That's gonna cost you.
Those are limited stock right now.
Yes.
Jacob also sees the ship is crawling with replicators on his end, and he can't shut down the self-destruct. Sam still needs to get the crystals, and they only have 3 minutes. Daniel will have to fly the ship out of here as soon as they ring back aboard. And he's like, what?
Yep.
You're going to have to tell me how to do that because I don't know. Which honestly, that like I know this is all nerve-wracking. Like they have to get the crystals, they have to get out, they have to ring aboard. Daniel has, I think, the worst job of them all, though. Like nothing makes my butt clench more than being given unclear instructions in a time of high pressure. What do you mean? Like I'm gonna need more information to work with here. So they get out just in time, and we have some dialogue. It's between all 4 of them. I'll take the
Daniel
O'Neill.
has very little. So
yeah.
Do you want to do O'Neill, Daniel?
Yeah.
I can take Jacob.
Cool.
Carter, it is. There's not enough time to fix the hyperdrive, is there?
We're going to have to hope the sublight engines can get us far enough away.
Of course, that's only going to matter if the replicators can't shut down the auto-destruct.
They'd have to learn to reprogram a Gould computer awfully quick.
It's possible if they get control of that ship.
Hey, you guys are being too negative.
We're not going to make it.
Going as fast as I can.
Right. Shut down the engines. Divert full power to the shields.
Be my guest.
Daniel's like, do you do that?
Yeah. So we do see the ship flying away from Apophysis' mothership as it explodes.
And then Jacob goes, that was close.
And Jack says, I believe someone said, we're not going to make it.
Sam, let's get the hyperdrive running.
Excuse me. I distinctly remember saying, we're not going to make it. I think we made it.
I'm sorry. I overreacted. At the time, I looked very much like we weren't going to make it.
Yes. Well, maybe next time you'll just wait and see.
And blow the last chance I might ever have to be right.
What?
Welcome to my life.
This was very funny. Yeah, this was pretty funny.
Welcome to my life.
It was very like quick, like dialogue, like going back and forth. And Jack is like, "Can you fucking stop being negative for one?" And then Jacob does like scream out, "We're not gonna make it."
It's a very who's on first sort of like gag moment in the middle of this thing. I think that was this was especially the part where Bonnie was like, what is going on? Like, it's like, oh, you have to know so much about these characters to understand this whole dynamic going on right now.
Mhm.
Yeah. What was her overall like? Because she's not someone who really watches it all the time and knows what's going on. So like surface level impression, she thought Jack was the antagonist.
But she knows he's not. But like I think it was in the episode.
Yeah.
Like she's seen episodes of it before. Definitely. Like
Mm.
so I don't know why she's like he's just the antagonist. Like what's going on? I was like, I don't know what to tell you.
You're like, I don't have time to explain this.
And then I had to explain Jacob all together to her because she's never seen
Oh.
a Jacob episode.
and that's
Okay.
fair.
So, yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
they get the engines up and running. Daniel on the ship's intercom, he's like, engine room, this is Peltac, engine room, coming immediately. And Jake's like, I think we left him in charge once too often. Like, what do you expect?
I love it though.
He's finally learning the controls and now you're giving him shit for it?
Yep.
Daniel picks up a ship on the sensors. It is a cargo ship that escaped right before the mothership blew up. It's Teal'c. Apophis revived him in the sarcophagus, and they fled the ship when the replicators attacked. A few Jaffa who supported the cause helped him escape. They let the cargo ship dock, and they go to greet Teal'c. And it's Sam and Jack and Daniel go to greet him. Teal'c suddenly jerks back, taking O'Neill's sidearm and pointed at him. Half a dozen Jaffa emerge with Zach guns at the ready. Apophis steps out from behind the Jaffa and tells Teal'c he has resumed his rightful position as First Prime.
Dun, dun,
Oh.
dun.
Wah, wah. So we have some dialogue between Teal'c, Jack, and Daniel. And I think Daniel has the least, so I'll just take that.
Cool. I'll take Teal'c or
Sure.
what do you want, Wells?
I don't care.
Okay.
You take Teal'c.
Okay. Teal'c says, I have never ceased to be in the service of my God.
All right, that's sounding a little brainwashy. You don't believe that guy's a god any more than I do. And Teal'c lowers the gun but doesn't answer. What the hell's that supposed to mean? Come on, we're friends. Are you trying to tell me you don't remember what's happened these past 4 years?
I remember everything. It makes me ill to think I was forced to pretend to be your friend. So many times I saved your life when I wished I could watch you die.
It hurts me that you would say that, but that's okay because I know it's not true.
Your belief is not necessary.
It doesn't make any sense. Come on. You and I together have taken down half a dozen golds.
Enemies of Apophis.
And we kicked his ass twice. Hell, you sat around and watched him die once.
I knew he would be reborn more powerful than ever.
I'm talking to a wall here. Anybody?
Teal'c, you remember when Apophis brainwashed your son Ryak?
And Teal'c kind of
And then Teal'c, so like there's like a gap between this dialogue and the next, but that kind of like gets him to like stop and question, and he's like, I'm getting out of here. So now we have some dialogue. It's O'Neill, Carter. Yeah,
Yep.
you guys got that.
Yep.
Oh yeah, this is good. Yeah.
That's a good one.
All right. Jack's just pressing random buttons on the door panel. He's like, gotta wonder why they didn't put us in a brig.
It's on one of the lower levels. It was probably damaged in the firefight.
Think you can hotwire this thing?
Well, I'd assume there's some sort of safety mechanism to ensure against that. I mean, otherwise it would be pretty stupid to lock us in here, wouldn't it? Neil just pauses.
He's like,
Carter Sam's like, of course I could give it a shot, sir.
He's like
Immediately whips the belt off and like using
Mhm.
it as a tool, like immediately.
Yeah.
"Mhm."
Yeah. Because she's basically like, are you fucking stupid? They wouldn't put us in here. Like, what a dumb suggestion. But then she's like, oh wait, you're my boss. I'll give it a good old college try, I
Yep,
guess.
yep. Mhm.
So we see some Jaffa bringing cargo on board the ship. One of the metal crates begins to melt.
Mm.
Mhm.
This was so fucking funny, and I didn't catch it the first time around. Okay. Apophis comes in to like the main command station, and he's looking at Kronos' chair, which is very like Greek pantheon inspired
Yeah.
looking shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, disgusting decorations. he's like this tacky bitch, like looking at the decor. Ugh, barf.
Oh,
It was just so, it was like this throwaway thing that was so funny. I'm like, damn, these ghouls are bougie.
Yeah. It's so good.
mhm.
Apophis tells Teal'c like he's got to find Jacob Selmack because Jacob did not go to greet Teal'c when he came aboard, so he's been able to evade and he's on the loose. So we have some more Carter and Jack, and I'll just grab the Jacob at the end. This is again like pretty comedic.
Back right where they were, doing the
Yeah.
same thing. I really have no idea what I'm doing here.
Keep trying. You may get lucky.
Sir, I really hate to sound negative, but I think it's pretty safe to say that without a little more insight into how these things actually work, I've got pretty much zero chance of...
The door slides open.
Okay, maybe not zero.
But it was
like
Jacob.
just changed one
Yeah.
crystal. Yeah.
It was Jacob on the other side. He opens and he's like, come on, let's go. But right away, Teal'c appears out of nowhere, takes Jacob's Zat, and he shoots the control panel that Sam was tinkering with. So now they've got all of them caught. They throw Jacob in the brig too. We have this interesting dialogue between a random Jaffa and Teal'c, because Jim Jaffa here is like, we're gonna die before we get to Delmac without new symbiotes, because they're again 125 years away. And Teal'c says, Apophis will live on and we shall serve him well until we die with honor in his name. So he's like fully...
And those Jaffa
ranked
give him a
forward.
look of like, I don't know if I
They're
signed
like,
up
what
for
the
this.
fuck?
And it's like, but you did, bro. Like,
there are some points where these Jaffa are questioning Apophis.
Yeah.
Like they're on the verge of like, why do we have to... He's a god. Like he knows all, right? So the ship begins to drop out of hyperspace and systems begin to fail. They can't bring the engines back online. Teal'c and the two Jaffa in the engine room, Teal'c and two Jaffa enter the engine room. It is swarming with replicators. So they go to check on the engine, and it's swarming with replicators. The door of SG-1 cell slides open, but there's nobody there, and we see a little replicator scuttle on in, and it won't attack unless it's threatened. So, you know, it kind of like wanders around. They leave it alone. You know, it's more scared of you than you're scared of it.
one of them does kind of like get all sassy with Daniel, though. Like one on the wall is
Where
like,
that
you know,
stupid rumor
like
probably came from.
chesting up to him.
Yeah. So they're able to like crawl out because the cell opened like a couple feet, so they were able to crawl out underneath. So Apophis and his crew are getting attacked by the replicators. So they go out to like, because Teal'c is like, hey, the engine, we can't fix them. We're cooked. So Apophis like goes out with his crew, his entourage, to go like make Teal'c fix it. I don't know. And they run into replicators and stuff. Very quickly they get overpowered. And Apophis, this little pussy ass bitch, he like scoots away and hides away in the control room. He closes the doors, and you can just hear all the Jaffa out there
screaming,
getting massacred by the replicators. So SG-1 and Jacob get all their gear back. The plan is to have Jacob and Daniel secure the cargo ship while Sam and Jack go get Teal'c. O'Neill and Carter are waiting in ambush. Teal'c slowly leads the Jaffa down the corridor. O'Neill takes the Gould stun grenade and rolls it toward them. Teal'c sees it. They run for cover. You know, there's a firefight that happens. Jacob and Daniel get to the cargo ship. It is remote access to the door controls. Hopefully the bugs haven't overridden it, and Jacob doesn't want to check. He's like, I don't want to tip them off, so we're just going to wait. It seems to be working, but it's fine. If I open it now, I'll tip them off and they'll know to fucking shut it down.
Yeah.
Jack shoots Teal'c to neutralize him. He's still alive, so they scoop him up. He's like, Junior, we'll take care of it. In the control room, Apophis is surrounded by replicators. There's a little bit of dialogue as they bring Teal'c onto the cargo ship. Daniel's like, he's been shot. And Jack says he resisted a little. Daniel says, I was starting to worry you guys weren't going to make it. Said, I didn't say it, though.
I didn't say it.
We're not going to make it.
He's like, I kept my mouth shut.
So just as they're about to leave, the ship jumps into hyperspeed, and they can't operate the cargo bay doors and fly out while they're in hyperspace. Oh my god, this hyperspeed, hyperspace shit. Hyperdrive.
They just installed the new good one, you know? And now
Hyperdrives Are Us was running a promo.
I know.
So, but this is actually a good thing. Because the ship is headed toward the last set of coordinates that were entered, which is Sokar's old home planet, Apophyse's new home base. Was that Natu? Well,
I
the
think
planet
so.
that Natu was like
Yeah.
circling.
Yeah.
The ship is traveling at 10 times its capable hyperspeed, and the speed is still increasing 20 times, 30 times. It's incredible the bugs must have modified the engines. So this is good because we're going to get home a lot faster. So we have some dialogue between Carter, Daniel, Jacob, and O'Neill. So let me see.
I can take. Oh,
It's
go ahead.
mostly Carter and Jacob.
So I'll just do Jack and Daniel.
Yeah.
That works.
They can do almost anything. They're very advanced. The individual blocks can come together to form whatever pattern they need to achieve their goals.
But I thought they didn't care about traveling fast.
Only while they're multiplying. Once they've reached a critical number, they look for new sources of technology to consume.
Then the information in the computer about Apophyse's base must make it look pretty appetizing. This is great news. We'll be back in our own galaxy in no time. When they come out of hyperspeed, we can jump ship and fly home.
I wouldn't exactly call it great news.
We can't let the bugs get a foothold in our galaxy. These things are relentless. Even the Asgard haven't been able to stop them.
What about self-destruct?
Right. Once it was set on Apophyse's ship, the bugs couldn't seem to shut it off.
Looks like the bugs have figured out Gould computers. I can't get into the main system.
All right, come on. Let's figure this out. We've got them on Thor's ship.
How?
We destroyed the deceleration drive just before the ship entered Earth's atmosphere. It couldn't withstand an uncontrolled re-entry.
Gould motherships use sublight engines to slow down after exiting hyperspace. If we destroy the sublight engine controls,
The ship won't be able to stop.
and it will crash right into Apophyse's planet.
So that's the plan. They have to physically destroy the crystals in person to make sure, because if they plant C4, the bugs will just disable it. So they need to shoot them out with a P90, and the control room is probably bug central. Long story short, they are able to control the crystals, and the bugs begin to attack immediately. Jacob is able to transport ring everyone back on board the cargo ship that's still in the cargo bay. The bugs begin to close the cargo bay doors, but they're able to escape right in time. Apophis is observing the ship's uncontrolled approach to Delmac on his view screen. Again, he's still in the control room. Now he's got his little personal Gould shield on. Then the bugs are unable to touch him, and he starts to scream because he's like, he got. Which honestly, I would think the replicators would be able to get through that shield, because it's only, remember, high velocity blast are only really what keep it out. Those bugs are not high velocity, because Jack could throw a knife through it.
That's true.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Shh, don't worry about it.
He's dead anyway.
He's dead anyway. It's fine.
Yeah. So on the view screen, they watch as Kronos' mothership hits the planet and explodes in a huge flash of light. They all appear relieved. Jack goes to check on Teal'c, who they have tied up in the cargo bay, and we close with this bit of dialogue between Teal'c and Jack.
I'll take Teal'c.
Sure.
You may torture me all you wish. I will tell you nothing.
I'm sorry I had to shoot you. You didn't give me much choice, though. Apophis is dead.
I do not believe you.
Trust me.
Gods cannot be killed.
And we fade out.
So we kind of did give you a little bit of a cliffhanger, but that's fine. You know, we couldn't do it. We couldn't do a triple header. That's a bit much, y'all.
Sarah's
hell no.
typing hands would have lost it.
Hell no. Mm-mm.
So let's do a comment check.
We had a good gag going because people, I think, forget about Jim Jaffa.
Oh yeah,
They forget about Jim Jaffa. So Scott said, Jim Jaffa, ROTFL, and then said, "Is that like Albert Asgard?" And then Boone said, "Norbert Knox." That's from Freddie Furling. Give me some Naquita. Said Tom Tolan.
Yeah.
Oscar the Ori. Gary Goa'uld. So we got a lot of good names. Jim Jaffa goes way back to like some of our first episodes, y'all.
That was an autocorrect joke.
It was. It was an autocorrect in the
and we just
joke.
now all the nameless Jaffas are like, okay, Jim Jaffa over there,
Jim
like
Jaffa.
does the thing. Because I think I didn't put it in, but like I think there was a point where the Jaffa were questioning Teal'c, and they were like, Apophis is a god. He's not some little child that we have to like escort from place to place or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And because Teal'c and Apophis know the replicators are bad fucking news and they can't beat them. And these other Jaffa are thinking like, well, look, my god will do it. Like he's gonna like he's unfallible. Like he can beat anything. Um so unfortunately they didn't deconstruct fast enough and they are collateral damage.
Yep. Yeah.
What else we got?
Yeah. No, it's just a lot of random things. Let's see. Oh, Scott brought up an X-Files. It's like in the X-Files where the 4th season finale episode is Gethsemane and the 5th season premiere is Redux and Redux 2. Or 6-7, which is Biogenesis, and 6 Extinction.
Oh my
and
god.
6 Extinction 2. Yes, the naming conventions of 2-parters and like 3-parters and now they don't even really bother with it because everything is meta plot anyway for the most part.
Yeah.
So I think we don't even, it's all that. So we don't have to worry about it anymore.
It's kind of exhausting though, because if you miss one episode or like you miss one thing, you're lost.
Yeah.
And that I think this goes back to like what I think Brad talked about at one point where he was like, I want someone to be able to turn on a random episode of Stargate and get a self-contained story where they weren't missing out and they like, I don't understand what's going on. What's this mean? What's that? Like they can watch an episode like Ergo or Window of Opportunity and get a completed story. So I do appreciate that's something we don't really get anymore with television.
I think, but Brad also then turned around and did Travelers, which is confusing as hell if you haven't seen all of it. But I do think that that's kind of it's a good point of what is the purpose of whatever is being made. Like, is it a plot thing or is it not? Like, does it work better as this or better as that? So
we're so used to the meta plot now that when we don't get it, I don't know if they just like lost the art of like the story of the week episodes. Like, one of them that I can think of more recently is The Mandalorian. Like that's kind of like a story of the week where it's like in this episode they're going to this what I don't know, but I'm like this. That was fine. Like Pedro Pascal's great. Like you can't deny that, but it felt a little too kiddie for me. So I don't know if it's just that specific story or if it's the episodic approach. Because like I think of I would watch the hell out of some X-Files because like that's just great TV. And a lot of that is story of the week stuff where it's most of it, I would say like maybe 85% of it is like story of the week stuff. And then like the last 15% is the meta plot. And I think it's pretty much agreed upon by like the general consensus that the story of the week episodes were what made that show so great. Like the meta plot was kind of confusing and shit and it was fine, but like when you think of the X-Files, like you think of like Clyde Bruckman and you think of the postmodern Prometheus and like you think of the funny episodes. So
I feel like oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, what were we gonna say?
No, finish your thought. Sorry, that was my ADHD jumping in. I'll after you're done with your thought. Sorry.
I think I would like to see like a good episodic TV show again, but I don't know if they've lost the art of making it because we're so used to the meta plot now.
I think it's different, but go ahead, Christina, and I'll throw in after.
Yeah, I was going to say the only place where I feel like it's able to be consistently done and is done nowadays is more in like criminal shows, like Criminal Minds or like any of that. Like those spaces for sure you still see it. Like that thrives in that space because you can literally tether it to it's a case and there's this thing. So you think about all those. So everything from like, but again, it's still not like all that new, it's older, but the NCIS, Criminal Minds, any like legal shows,
Drama,
obviously,
like medical dramas too, like Grey's Anatomy
Yep.
too. But then you do
Yep.
miss out like on all of the personal lore and the backstory of each character, and like
Yeah.
they slept with this
Yeah.
person, but now we're with that person, and blah blah blah. Like, so yeah, like that. I could agree with that. Yeah.
And I think there's like some kid shows that do it really well in changing total course, but those are more tied to like a lesson of the week versus story of the week. So I do
Mm.
think there's success in those areas for kid shows where it's focusing on like what's the emotion we're going to teach, what's the like crisis we're going to work through. And I think those are the only spaces where I feel like it's happening. It's either it's criminal and crime story or it's kids learning how to deal with emotions. But yeah, go ahead, Wells. Unless
Oh,
there's, like,
I don't think it
anything
has
there.
anything to do with losing the art of a story of the week. I think it is completely by design based on evolving viewer patterns. We never had the binge option back in the day, right? Like you couldn't
Right.
sit down and just watch like a whole season of something. And also people weren't necessarily feeding as much money into a series as they are now. Because I remember this was probably Dragon Con 2008 or 2009. I sat in a Battlestar Galactica panel, which had like all the BSG people on it. It was a really cool panel. And Mary McDonnell was on it. And this is like Academy Award, a Mary McDonnell, right? And even back then, she was talking about how actors all of a sudden now were like flocking toward television instead of movies. And that was like back in 2008 when that was like the shift was starting to happen.
Yeah.
So like at the same time of us getting all these streaming options, you then also had money being filtered into shows that were attracting like higher quality than like we were used to. I mean, I'm not saying the content of X-Files wasn't great or the content of like old Star Trek wasn't great, but like literally people were just starting to put more money and everything into these. As people stopped going to movie theaters as much. So then it became like, oh no, this is how we keep everybody hooked. And we're going to have like the binge is the thing. So the vast majority of people haven't like, I don't think they've pushed back on that, like that concept of like, I'm going to like have my weekend and I'm going to watch all of this season because it's this many episodes, but the episodes, even though there are fewer episodes, there's more money in them, everything like that. So it's just, because of the way we have evolved in our viewership, it's not that people don't know how to do it. I think they're just not going to, like, because of the way we watch things now. And I love a good meta plot show. If it makes sense for the show, I love it,
Yeah.
And even all the new Trek that everybody gets mad at, like I love Discovery and it's very heavy meta plot show, but
Strange
also
New
you
Worlds.
get so much character development in that meta plot too. Like you actually get more with it. So
Strange New Worlds has some standalone that you could probably watch. And I was thinking too, The Orville is another one that has some like pretty good standalone episodes, but also like they're interconnected and there's like some smaller subplot meta plots in there that extend over multiple episodes, and then there's like standalone and then they have I need to rewatch The Orville, especially since a lot of Orville people will be at Shore Leave for sure. Yeah. Scott Grimes is like one of the bigger ones. Wells froze up. I don't know if they're.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
I'm back
there
now.
Okay.
I'm back. Just wait if that happens. I'll be back soon. No, all a ton of them like are going to be at Shore Leave. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
I have not watched. Oh, everybody's going to get really mad at me now.
Strange New Worlds.
I have not watched Strange New Worlds past the musical episode.
I didn't watch the musical episode because I fucking hate them. I hate them.
Killed it in the water for me. Killed it in the water.
See, that's why I'm not watching it. I'm not doing that. I don't want to watch people sing on my TV shows. I'm not a musical gal. I'm not.
I like to go to Broadway musicals for that. I don't need it in my TV shows.
Yeah, like very limited. Like it's very. Yes.
Yeah, everybody's gonna come at me now.
No, it gave you the ick. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
I just had it like literally killed all of my momentum for watching that show.
Yeah. All right. What else?
To tell y'all.
It's gonna end soon anyway.
All right.
Okay. So since we're talking about how TV shows operate nowadays, Exodus aired February 23rd, 2001. And then Enemies aired June 29th, 2001. Exactly 24 years ago to the day. It is June
Oh, look at
29th today.
that. We did that on purpose.
Yeah,
100%. Totally.
Insert Sarah's rant about how good we had it back then, because again, how many years have we fucking waited for the last season of Stranger Things? Good God. Like
Yeah.
it's
I
it's at
know.
least a year now in between seasons. It's at least a year, if not more. Sometimes
Mhm.
it's 2. Like what Bridgerton season 3 aired like this time last year, and we still don't have a new season of that yet. I don't think it's coming until 2026. I'm tired of it. It doesn't need to take this long. We used to get 22 episodes a season that were 45 minutes each. Were they less quality? Maybe. But you can give me fucking 6 episodes. That's another thing too. They're slowly whittling away how many episodes we get. We used to get 12 episodes, and then it's like, oh, okay, we'll do 10. Like, remember we had like, it was like 12, 14 range, and now it's like a solid 10. Now we're getting like 6. Are you serious? It's
Yeah.
taking them that goddamn long. I'm tired of it. Tired of it.
Preach.
Tell us
Preach.
how you really feel.
I'm tired of it. Because what? February to June is like 5 months. And we were bitching back then. Oh no, what are we gonna do? Now we gotta wait years. We should have known how good we had it. We
Yeah.
should have never
Yeah.
bit.
I guess.
Yep.
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
anything else?
writers considered leaving SG-1 stranded in outer space for a year, for a season of episodes, like Lost in Space or Star
Should have
Trek
done it.
Voyager.
They should have done it.
Yep.
No.
Or at least let them be stuck a little bit longer. They
When
like
that
fixed
happened on
it.
BSG, I was like, hold that, like 1 year later that happened, and you're like, what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was a good moment. It was a good moment.
And then this is confirmation that this episode does mark the death of Apophis for real this time. Thank God. I'm tired of this bitch being brought back. It's so annoying.
Mhm.
But yeah, and again, like there's nothing too like philosophical here to debate except for Teal'c's like quest for revenge, which I love a good revenge story. Some of my favorite subreddits are like nuclear revenge or pro revenge. Great stories. Love the drama, especially if it's not about my life. But I don't know, like he is blind with rage right now, and he needs to cool his jets and figure out when to like deliver a really good revenge blow. It's coming in too hot. You got to let it simmer.
Yep.
I'll give my one fact about Tenneth, played by Peter Wingfield, who I think it's appropriate to see him in this episode, even though his character doesn't come in for a while, but he does play a favorite, a great recurring character in Sanctuary. But also, like nobody knows what Peter Wingfield's been doing lately, y'all. At 52 years old, he went back to school and became a fucking doctor, a medical doctor, y'all. Like
he's like, I got my bag working in TV. I'm gonna take these fat paychecks and get my medical degree.
Yeah,
good for him.
Cool. Like just doing it. Like you're
never too late.
It's never too late to do. Like apparently, he just was something he always wanted to do, and so he did it. And like I love that so much.
Yeah,
so much. So but excited about some more Peter Wingfield love.
Yeah, that won't be the last time we see him.
No, not in Stargate. Well, we briefly see him.
Yeah,
we don't see a lot of him. I don't think anymore. We see him for like a
blown out.
Yeah. But you see a good bit of him in Sanctuary.
Yeah.
All right.
But I think that's all we've got.
Yeah.
Well, good. We got through that fairly quickly, considering it's back to back. But it's kind of like, to your point, Sarah, it's kind of like a bleh. Like it's just a.
It's kind of another.
There's like a lot
at the beginning, and then there's a lot of action, like the second.
It's mostly action, which the action episodes are fun to watch, but like there's not really much to talk about.
Yeah.
No.
I want some like deep philosophical discussions here.
I know. All right. Well, those are coming.
We're into season 5 now, and next week-ish we will get on to Sanctuary. So if you're like me and have not watched it, watch the first 2 episodes.
Sanctuary for all part 1 and 2. That's the full story for the first episode.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Not it.
Not it.
Oh my god. I gotta think. Hold on. What are some jokes that we had? Kronos is
Ooh.
tacky. I make something out of that.
Totally. I get like I'm ready for you whenever.
Like, all right. We lost this mothership, but it's fine because it was decorated with some tacky shit. So we'll have to try again next week. Close the iris.